shoulders of the homeowner. A lot of people think that you can't improve services and reduce or keep taxes the same. That's not true. Do you know that our tax assessor's office has overvalued homes in Norwalk to the point where court decision after court decision after court decision has been ruled in favor of the appellant, the homeowner, and has reduced their taxes because their taxes were too high. And research has shown, I just learned this shortly, a short time ago, commercial property in the city of Norwalk is underassessed by approximately 19%. Just assessing property values of commercial property to their true value will help take some of the tax burden off the shoulders of the homeowners. But what we need, and I've spoken about it and I've gotten myself in so much trouble, we don't need big box stores that cause traffic congestion, bring in low-paying jobs, mostly part-time because they don't want to pay benefits, and don't pay taxes. They pay taxes on the footprint of the building, they pay taxes on their fixtures. What we need are what we refer to as MUDs, mixed-use development, where you build your own density, where you have people living upstairs, whether it's condominiums or apartments, and where downstairs you have retail space, so that the retailers will invest in the retail space because they know they have a customer base upstairs. And that's where the tax revenue stream starts to come in. Now, I went to 4 groundbreakings in 2011, just before the mayoral election. Since that time, the only thing that started was Waypoint, and that started, guess what? After I first mentioned that I went to 4 groundbreakings just before the mayoral election. And they started pouring concrete. I even got a personal telephone call from the zoning department saying, hey, guess what? Waypoint is starting to pour concrete. So I'm taking credit for Waypoint. I'm not even the mayor and I'm starting to make things happen. So, what's your name, young lady? So, it's important that we develop properly in Norwalk. And then we increase our grand list. You read today in the paper, I found this out the other day and mentioned it, and I don't know if it was because I mentioned it. The grand list last year was $3 billion more than it is this year. And that's a large part of that is because of the tax appeals won in the courts where people's property was overassessed. So, and $3 billion is not chump change. Now we talk about crime. Yes, I was a police chief. Yes, I know we have a crime problem in Norwalk, and people have a right to feel safe. When I mentioned, first of all, the thing I did, I wanted to make friends with people in the community, and I wanted them to know who we are, and I wanted them to know what we brought to the table. And Bruce, stop me when you want to. And I don't want to take all your time. So, you've heard me say this before. Folks, you cannot arrest your way out of a crime problem. Sending a young person to jail does not bring back a model citizen. It brings back a person who can't find work. So, and do you know, and I know you do know this, it costs more money to keep a young person incarcerated than it does to send them to college. So we need to have programs for young people so that they know that they can succeed. Research has shown, I used to teach juvenile justice at Norwalk Community College. Research has shown that a strong law enforcement approach is the least effective way of dealing with crime. I'm not saying that you don't have police officers. But they said the most effective way of dealing with the crime problem is providing opportunities for young people. And then they went around and checked with all these different towns and communities that thought they were doing everything right. And guess what? They were employing the least effective and ignoring the most effective. So we need to have opportunities for our young people so that they can succeed. And I'm going to close on this. You know, it's been, in the past 26 years, We've had a Democratic mayor 4 years. This is a critical election. There are more than 15,000, maybe even 17, I'm not sure, Bruce probably knows, registered Democrats in town, and probably 11 or 12 registered Republicans. But there are more unaffiliated voters than there are either. And what we need to do is do a better job of converting those unaffiliated voters to come over to the Democratic side, to vote Democratic, so we can end up with a Democratic mayor. I promise you a mayor that believes in transparency, inclusiveness, and civility. As police chief, many of you people in this room here probably had a need to call me. And for the most part, with rare exceptions, because nobody's perfect, you would get a call back from me very quickly, or you would get a call back from somebody else shortly thereafter. So we need transparency in government. And one of the things that I want to do, you hold a police commission meeting at 4 o'clock in the afternoon on a Monday? Who can go to the police commission meeting 4 o'clock on a Monday? No. I want my police commission meetings held at night.
Thank you.
And I want my police commission to be representative of this community.
All right.
I want to form a mayor's night out. Now I heard of brown bag lunches that mayors have. Who can go to a brown bag lunch? Might as well hold it in a phone booth. Because nobody can come to at 12 o'clock. You're working, you're hardworking people. You can't get to the mayor's office. I'm going to have a monthly mayor's night out, just like I had a monthly meet the chief meeting. And I'm going to bring my department heads with me. Because I've been working with these department heads. I know what works. I know what doesn't work. And what doesn't work is going to change. The government of Norwalk is going to be civil. It's going to be the friendliest government that you can imagine. And anybody that violates my tenet is going to say, goodbye, it's time to leave.
Thank you.
So, and these department heads will listen. So I promise you a mayor that not only hears or listens to what's being said, but actually hears, understands, and acts on it. Because you know what? As corny as it may sound, this is a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. And not just some people. It's a government for all the people. And that's the government I'll bring to Norwalk. I thank NEON for